Welcome to Behind the Screen from the Coolidge Corner Theater in Brookline, Massachusetts. And this is produced in part by the New England Institute for Art. So our crew are students from the New England Institute of Art. And this being our 51st show, we have two more of our crew that we're going to talk with. I'm Tim Jackson, and this is Sarah Paterson and Cory Pino, ordinarily behind the camera and doing the audio. And so what we're doing is to try to give some information about, in the 50th episode, the last episode that you saw, about new ways of consuming media, about centralized authority for consuming moving images, which is basically Hollywood or mainstream distribution movie theaters like one we're sitting in right now. And that people are consuming media in all kinds of different ways, on cell phones, on computers, downloading, streaming. But there's another issue, which you guys might be familiar with, which is that one of the threats to the mainstream model, the centralized model of distributing moving images or media, is illegal downloads, which really affected, you've heard about this.
Things?
Okay. Which really affected the music business and got pretty serious and really changed the whole way that people regard the way that they consume music. And we all know this is happening with movies. To me, it's astounding. I talked to two security guards at a screening of The Wrestler who had goggles, and they showed me all the things they do to frisk down and monitor early screenings of any film. And I said, do people really sit there with cell phones and take pictures of movies? And then as I understand, yes, you can watch these and you see heads sitting in front of you like you're sitting in the theater. Well, okay.
Bringing the movie experience home.
Bringing the movie experience home
to your cell phone.
in odd ways. So whether or not this is a threat or will change the way people, the kinds of films we get, or whether people go to films, are people watching things this way?
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me
I don't know that most people, I don't think most people go for those films that were pirated in the theater. I think they just go for bootleg copies that, somehow are available online or get ripped from friends' DVDs and just redistributed that way.
So as far as you know, there's a lot of that can happen and does happen?
Well, I think there's a couple of different kinds of people that steal movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's, as with anything, there's multiple layers or whatever. There's the people who literally steal every single movie that comes out just so they can have like the biggest collection of movies or whatever, because that's what they do. But then there's also the people who just want to steal like the new movie, the new blockbuster that just came out. They just want to see it. They really don't feel like paying for it or whatever. And then there's people who, like college students that can't afford, like we go to an art school. We're supposed to be keeping up with all the new movies, all the new music that comes out, the new production techniques or whatever, and we're supposed to be, paying attention to all this. Well, we pay a lot of money to go to school, and we're college students. We're usually broke. So to do stuff like that, sometimes, it makes more sense to get it for free to be able to keep up than to do what you've got to do.
And sometimes it's the case where you steal it when it comes right at the theaters, but then later on it might be good enough that you really want a quality DVD copy or something like that. It's just, it's just a way to do the filter thing, you know? You don't want to spend $10 on every movie you see, but those that really are worth it, you'll go out and,
And is that possibly also because there's a inherent distrust that you've grown up with, that the PR machine is giving you the best information about what things you ought to see?
There's definitely distrust. Yeah, absolutely. I think actually that's a good point, is that the fact that it's so easy to steal movies and to steal music, like Sarah was saying about the filters, it's removing that filter, but it's also saying that filter may or may not have been necessary to begin with. It's something that, somebody's rating this movie or that CD or whatever that just came out, but who are they? And unless you pay attention to that one person, and know exactly how they think about something, you may or may not disagree with their assessment of it. And so to be able to get it for free and to make your own judgment it's keeping Hollywood honest almost. It's keeping any CD that comes out, it's keeping it honest. If it's
So you're saying that the dishonesty of downloading is keeping Hollywood honest?
Yeah.
An interesting irony going on there. Okay, so what are, I know that you have never done this. I screened you carefully to make sure you've never done any illegal downloading. But what are the ways? I mean, I know that there's BitTorrent, which is huge.
Yes.
It can't be stopped.
ThePirateBay.org.
And Pirate Bay, which is totally decentralized.
Pirate
right?
Bay is a BitTorrent site, basically.
Okay.
Because there's, like, BitTorrent, I think, started out as a specific application, but now there's multiple versions of, like, different programs or whatever that all use the same type of downloading. And what BitTorrenting basically is it's almost like a peer network that Joe and Sam and Rick all have the same version of the same file, and you get a little bit from him, a little bit from him, a little bit from him. But it's because it's the same file. Well, it works the same for
Any
music
file.
and for video, for applications. People are pirating, Windows and the new Leopard or whatever that just came out. People pirate just about anything, and BitTorrent is just it's like what happened to Napster went away because Napster, the way it stored things was a direct connection to one other person. And BitTorrent doesn't deal direct me to you. It's a general thing. Like if I'm downloading a file that you have, I might be getting some from you, but if you go offline, I can still get it from Joe and Rick and Sam because they've got the same exact file. And so I'm getting like a little bit from you. You go offline, Joe comes on, I get a little bit from Joe, and then Rick comes on, I get a little bit from, so it's
but people
not
who aren't
one-to-one
techno savvy though will also go in and just buy pirated DVDs. They sell these.
Canal Street.
Oh, yeah. There's people. I was on the T the
In
other
New York,
day,
you're
and,
talking
and
about.
there was a guy walking up and down the car going, "Anybody want to buy DVDs? Anybody want to buy DVDs?"
Have you ever seen them?
The DVDs that he had?
Yeah, or
well, he
anything
pulled
like
out and flashed a whole bunch, and there were a bunch of pirated discs, basically.
Are they pirated actual movies, or are they pirated from sitting in the theater and shooting it?
I never actually watched any of them, but I saw like the cases he had were like photocopied and everything. So I mean,
are there any other threats like that? I mean, there's downloads, there's illegal DVDs. Are there any other
another
means?
way of redistributing. It's not for profit or anything, and that's the thing.
Redistributing.
Piracy,
like that.
yeah, they worry about piracy. Like they have the warning in the beginning of the DVD, like you may not resell this or just have your own screen. You can charge admission.
Sure.
No one's really doing that. They're just sharing, essentially.
Right.
I mean, I know there are programs that you can download that are free, that you can rip DVDs that somebody, doesn't have to be you, anybody has already purchased this DVD, it's a legitimate copy, you can rip it to your computer and then use like Toast. You can use like for the Macintosh, the Ripper, and then Toast Titanium to burn the files back into a DVD format, and blam, now you have as many DVD copies as you want to send to your friends or just back up. I mean, originally it was for if you have a DVD collection, you know the DVD is not going to last forever, so you want to back up the copy. Or maybe you want to create a disk image so you can watch it on your computer even if the DVD isn't in the drive.
Yeah.
But people are finding creative ways of getting around that too.
And this is also a way of responding to the product you got. You get to watch it over and over. My biggest question is, why aren't we shutting down the libraries? They let us read things and watch things for free. Right? Is it there's another way to get to watch things without having to purchase them?
I think that the main difference is that with the library, you check the book out, you read it, but you bring it back. You're not going to photocopy every single page of whatever.
But you don't buy it, so it doesn't help the sales of the book.
Right.
But no, but it might make you want to go buy your own copy, which is really people's arguments for piracy is that, like I was saying earlier, it removes that filter. It lets you be the filter. So if you watch something and you really like it, you might want to go ahead and buy it.
More effective spreading of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.